There we go. Afternoon, everyone. Uh, Afternoon. Well, yeah. Again, depends where you're at. No, that's the challenge I keep hitting with time zones. I'm actually an hour later than I thought I was going to be, and that is because it turns out that, well, with the daylight savings, the time slot that I was booked on for this in our internal system is on uh, Pacific time, US. So with the daylight savings shift that's pushed me to 3 p.m. Sydney, not 2 p.m., I was like, oh, well, good thing I double checked on that. Otherwise, I would have been caught off guard, and the Learn TV endpoint wouldn't have been active for a while. But it's all good. Um, I, we're here. We made it, and something keeps happening every time I set up the scenes. It keeps just changing this camera. I still got to play around with how NVIDIA Broadcast is coming through on OBS. But yeah, it's definitely it keeps resizing. That's a nuisance for me. Anyway, I hope folks had a good long weekend. If you're like me in Sydney, I actually took an extra couple of days off to. It was my wife's birthday, so we had Tuesday to ourselves while the kids were down with their grandparents, and we've spent today just sort of hanging out, doing some stuff around the house, that jobs that we've been delaying as much as we could. So it's been good. It's been nice to have a little bit of a break. Uh, let's jump into what we're here to play around with today, which is our video app. And I actually did continue playing around with it after the stream last week because I wanted to work out what the problem was that we are having. It kept hitting a bug where it was trying to display the list of connected devices, audio and video devices, but doing so would then result in an error. Actually, we'll jump over to that by checking out part one, I think. Yeah, part. So I put tags into the Git repo, and I'm going to keep doing this because I'm going to write blogs around like what we learn as we chip away at this. I'm going to create tags kind of after each of the points that we get to. So if we go back to part one, and then I'm going to need to set all of the appropriate. No, I don't want split that way. I want to split across, and then we'll split down to super. Whoops, not system. Super, and then to the API and use. I should change 12 to be my default. No, I want to use Node 14 as my primary. Anyway, so there was a problem. Yeah, it was just throwing up this like weird message when it would attempt to display the list of devices, which didn't make any sense to me. npm start, but we'll have a look at where we're at. Oops, npm start and fnm use and npm run emulator. We'll give that a sec. Just wait till all of these start up, and then we'll run the emulator. But I worked out what it was. So we've got that all up and running. Then let's close that browser tab because it doesn't need that one there. Okay, looks like we've got all the servers running. Okay, and we want that site. And we'll punch that across to here so everyone can see it. Now, no, it's not on 000. It's going to be on localhost 8000. Okay, so over the dev tools, I want to pack them on the right. Why don't I have them on the left? Let's do something. Let's do something that push them across the left for. Anyway, so if we start the call, so it's already thinking that we're logged in. So what it's trying to do now is it's getting back the list of devices to display. Oh wait, no, it will work because I have already signed in and done some approval on this one. So We'll do this though in a private window because that will mean that we have to sign in again. That's where we'll sign into GitHub and you will not get to see my password, hopefully. You will have to watch me use the 2FA. So you'll get a Toppy code, although that's not going to last particularly long. I can't use my security key, which is the one that would normally have had because I've got a Windows Hello device. Unfortunately, I can't do that because it's the same camera that's currently being used to stream. And it turns out that you can't do two things at once with the camera. Who would have thought? 581. Go. Okay, so we're signed back in. Let's hit this again. Yep, we'll leave that. So we'll start the call. So now it's attempting to get them. We'll jump back to the code in a second, and it doesn't work the way that we expected. I get an audio device, but if we have a look at this, let's punch that up. Like it's not right. Like you'll see that it's got an ID. Like it knows there's a microphone connected, but it doesn't have a name or anything like that. And if we were to come into the code and let's duplicate this line and say instead of get this one is not get, this will be get video. No, get camera list. So if we do get camera list as well, we'll see it like on my computer. I've got 5 cameras, or like things that are recognized as cameras by the computer. Because I've got, I think, 3 or 4 virtual inputs. So here we go. Okay, so I should at the very least get the Brio, which is the one that's streaming out. But I just get this unknown USB camera device connected, and then I get an unknown microphone when I should at least have it recognized as the Rode Podcaster and the Brio, which is what I'm streaming on. I then have an old webcam connected as well on sitting on top of the other screen. That one should be appearing. I've got like NVIDIA Broadcast running. I've got OBS virtual camera running. I've got Logitech's virtual camera running. So there should be 3 virtual cameras. And then there's a whole bunch of, I've got multiple mics or things that represent themselves as microphones. And this is where we got to last week. And it's like, what the heck is wrong here? Like, why is it not showing anything? The other thing that's kind of odd by the way that this has worked is that it hasn't requested the permissions from me to actually access those devices. Now, the way that browsers actually work with kind of in private stuff or access to your media devices is through this media devices API. So you can find it on NBN media devices. It talks all about it, but there's a couple of useful methods here. Enumerate devices. So this will give you a list of the devices that are connected, and that'll tell you. So that's whether they're, and that's both the video and audio devices and input and output audio devices. We're mostly concerned with input audio devices, so our microphones and our video devices. But you can also get back your speakers, so you could potentially give someone the option to choose different speakers that they want to output to. I find that as an end user incredibly frustrating. It should be whatever system default is, but you can override that. Then get display media and get user media. Like these are the things that we use to push and push things to the screen from these connected devices, and that's ultimately where you end up, and that's the stuff you want. But to do that, you have to request that a permission for the user to access those devices, which makes sense. Like you don't just want your computer to be intrinsically allowed, like in the browser, to just connect to your camera, because that'd be a scary notion that like just always connect. Like any website could connect to your camera and you wouldn't have a clue unless you saw the little light turn on it. So yeah. You'll see that the way that this works through the native API is that you would call get user media. Constraints are like, what do you actually want from the media? Do you want audio devices or video devices, or do you want both? And then you'll get back the stream, which you can then unpack and then push that like to say like a canvas object or to a video object or capture like a single frame, like whatever you're trying to do with your video device. Like that's where it happens and kind of what you end up dealing with. But, well, we haven't been prompted for that yet in the way that this application is working. which doesn't make sense, because if I'm not prompted for it, then how does it have access to it? And it turns out, and this is what I was digging through last week, sort of after the fact, is that I was missing another API call on the device manager, which is ask for permission. So I'm just going to roll forward in the commits to head, and we can see that in action. Super, and we'll go back to the main branch. Yeah, I forgot I did changes, and then to main. Okay, so that should just restart all these servers. Keep it. Yep, cool. They're all refreshed. Now, if we come back here, you'll see I've actually added a bunch more stuff into state. This is so that we can just do some better debugging and looking at the way things appear within inside of the React state. But what I am doing is with the device manager, I then we then ask device permissions and saying true just because we won't. So it's do you want audio or do you want video or do you want both? And we want both, so we pass true through. And what that'll do is that'll do the permissions prompt that we're wanting. And assuming that I granted permissions, I'm then able to get the device list for the microphone and then get the camera list. And if I don't, like if I deny permissions to that, then I can't access those because the end user has said, no, you're not allowed to touch this stuff. I don't want you to be touching my microphone. So now let's come back here and we'll restart our application and come back to connect. So what we'll see is in a minute, here we go. So we get this pop up here now. So this domain, localized 8080, wants to use the camera and the microphone. And like I said, if you hit block, then it'll block stuff. If you hit allow, which is what we're going to do, I'm now able to get back a bunch of stuff. And you will see some errors in here. I'll come back to what those errors mean in a moment. And I realize that I'm running in a private mode browser, so you don't actually get to see the, I don't have the React Dev tools available to me. But we'll see that when we go back into the non-private mode browser. Now, you might be wondering, like, well, I've still got a whole bunch of red error messages that have appeared. I have not got to the bottom of what all of these messages are, other than some of them just telling me that the media devices are in use. So that's the camera and the microphone that I'm currently using on stream. So it's trying to access them because they're system defaults, and then it can't access them because, well, they're in use. And then this other one here at the bottom is that I think it identifies a device that doesn't actually exist, which is U24, and that's not in the available set of devices that I have. I haven't worked out where U24 comes from, mostly because I don't have the source code for ACS's client libraries, but that will be something that we'll try and work out what is the result of that and how to deal with it better, because yeah, it's not ideal that we dump out an exception message here. But what we now have is a drop-down list that, if I just zoom that in a touch, we'll see these are the video devices according to my system. So there's the Logitech Brio, there's the LifeCam HD 6000, which is on my other monitor, and then my virtual cameras, Logic Capture, NVIDIA Broadcast, and OBS. So that's what we want. We'll kill this tab here. We'll come back to this one now. We'll reload. Go through our login flow again, start the video call. Give it a moment while, like it needs a loading progress or something like that. But yeah, there we go. So now it has worked. If we come over to the component hierarchy within inside of here, and then hop onto, I think, connect page. Yeah, connect page, that's the one we want. So here's the state objects. Again, increase a bit of font sizes there. So the first state here is a list of the different cameras. None of them represent which direction they're facing, but we'll see that there's the LifeCam, that'll be the Brio, etc., etc. And then here's our microphone devices. We'll see that there's the Podcaster, and we see that's the system default. We can see, and the Brio has a microphone in it. The NVIDIA Broadcast is a microphone. the live cam has a microphone, and I think, yeah, my Bose headset is a microphone. So now we're able to get that. So how are we doing that? So yeah, this is the key thing that I didn't have was device manager ask device permissions, and assuming we get permissions back, then you can request the device lists. So that's something key to remember. Now, what I did find out talking to some of the other folks that are working with ACS is that part of the reason that I had to do this is because I'm not immediately attempting to use said devices. So you don't have to ask the permissions initially if you want to just create what they call a renderer, which we've got the code for down here. We'll come to in a moment. But that until you actually try and put something on screen, you don't necessarily need to have asked permissions. So it's kind of this weird chicken and egg. It's like really difficult. Like you can't work out what devices are connected until you want to render one of those devices. Because if you don't do that, it hasn't prompted for the user to give permission to access the list of devices. But this is something that they might change going forward because it can be a little bit confusing when you come to it. So what do we do once we get our device list? Well, that is where we create, it's just called a renderer. A renderer is the thing that displays the video output from a device that you have in your system and the one that you're connected to. So I've got that down here a little bit further. Now I've got another effect, and it's going to have it's got a ref to a DOM element, because when we do a render, we have to then push it across to an element on screen to render into. Kind of just gives us like a video feed. Actually, we'll have a look. I haven't checked what it is in the DOM, but yeah, it'll be some kind of something that we're appending as a child. So we create a new local video stream using a selected camera from the user's device list. From that video stream, we're creating a renderer. This renderer we then append to a div element that I've just got down here, and I'm just creating a ref using use ref hook that will then be appearing out there, and that's what will appear in the DOM. So let's have a look at how this works. So that's what if we keep an eye on the state here in the like this undefined bit of state, that is the current selected camera. Right now, there is currently no selected camera. So until we select one, well, unsurprisingly, there's no camera. So let's come in here. We will select the live cam, and then ta-da! There's the other camera, and that's the video feed that is now being output from that camera into a DOM element. Like I said, let's have a look. What is that on in the DOM? Yeah, okay. So it just gives you the video element that you can append straight in. So it's got the appropriate attributes set on, autoplay, plays in line, etc. This camera has some autofocus issues, so I will be phasing in and out, as you'll see occasionally while this is on screen, but that's something that I can't actually deal with easily. I might have we'll look at how we can fix that, because that could get very annoying for us to look at. But that's it. There we go. Now I've got it, so I could change to, like, I could swap to the Brio, which is probably not going to work. So that's going to give me an error because that one is in use. Where's my mouse got? There it is. Ooh, yeah, NVIDIA broadcast. I can't because it's there. That's just, oh, I could do the OBS virtual cam. Oh, isn't the virtual cam? Virtual cam should be running. Oh no, there we go. Ah, look, there we go. We can look at ourselves and whoa, and check out the mouse. It's going in reverse of itself. But yeah, that's the camera all the way down, just flipped. Yeah. So now this is a good start. Like, we're actually getting things output. Oh, and you also notice a little red tab there, little thing on the tab, and that's because this tab has been given access to my microphone and or video. So this is just the browser indicating, hey, this one might actually be recording you, what you're doing, what you're saying, etc. So just, yeah, that's what that's there for. Excellent. Well, it's now time to, well, let's try and do something a little bit more useful with this, because, well, we've got to the point where it's running out, but we've got some bugs like the fact that we've now got two versions of the camera and so on and so forth. And we probably want to also put in a little bit better of a display. So I am just going to drop back to the home. Actually, I might make it so maybe we've got some navigation. We'll see. We'll see what we tackle in this one. But at the very least, we need to fix it up so that it doesn't destroy. It doesn't make things look quite as well duplicated when we have multiple when we swap cameras. It should just replace that one. And I think it's not the virtual camera because we don't really need that one running. Yeah. Give me back that minimal amount of CPU that it's probably taking. Oh, interesting. I just noticed OBS is not showing me. Ah, there we go. There's the statistics. Awesome. We see that it isn't falling over. I'd forgotten how good it was having a desktop PC. It's really depressing. Okay, so we've got the local video stream. We're creating a new video stream every single time. And it kind of feels like that might be inefficient because, well, at the very least, we need to get rid of the previous video stream, right? There's no point in having multiple video streams. So vid stream. What can I do on that? I can do switch source. Excellent. Vid stream switch source. Okay, so I can update the video source that is there. Now I wonder if I can create a stream. Like, because yeah, we probably we don't want to create the video, and do we want renderer? No, we don't want to. We only want to create the renderer once as well. Because yeah, we give the renderer the video source. So we might need to simplify this a little bit. Create view. Or we're doing a lot more. So the renderer can be disposed of. I just noticed that. Renderer. So we've got to dispose and size. I wonder if we can adjust the size of that on the fly. Maybe. Maybe we can. So the dispose method disposes of this renderer. Awesome. I mean, that's what I assumed it would do based off of its name. I think fundamentally what we want to happen is that when you change, so when it starts up, we create a local video stream that is initially assigned to nothing because we don't have a video stream that we're working with. And then that will be given to the renderer and and then we will create a view that will then get attached to the DOM. And then every time you change the camera, we will update the video stream, but not change the renderer. I think that's going to be the process. So let's delete that. Okay, so we get rid of that, and then current camera. Okay, hang on a sec. Local vid stream will take a video device info. So no, so we can't provide a undefined object to it. Okay. That's going to be interesting because we kind of want to make the vid stream a singleton object. So we're going to need to put back in this conditional test. We can delete that ref test because I don't really need it. Okay. Let's add this as well to const and we'll call it vid stream set vid stream will be a use state of local video stream. So that's going to be initially undefined. This will receive the vid stream. Okay. If there's a current camera, no. If we don't have a vid stream, we're going to need to do oh yeah, sorry, it's unhappy because of that. And that is going to need to be let bound, isn't it? Because we're going to use it. Yeah, otherwise, I mean, I can do separate effects, but I think that's going to be unpleasant. Yes, I know that. And then we'll do set vid stream to current camera. There we go. Oh no, sorry, not current camera, vid stream. Yeah, it does return me a void. No, let's just make this hook. We'll do that. So we're going to create this as a hook. We'll do use effect. And then if there is a current camera and not a vid stream, we will then set the vid stream to new local video stream over the current camera. Okay, and then that one will be run on current camera and vid stream. Okay, so that's when that hook will run. Then this one will run. So we're not going to do that. So if there's a current camera and there is a vid stream, then we will create a renderer, and then the renderer will be set to there. Yep, okay. If there is a current camera, else if we have a current camera and we have vid stream, then we'll do vid stream switch source to current camera. Yeah. And then wait, renderer. Okay, so I was just wondering if the renderer could take a void, sorry, an undefined, but it can't. So that's also disappointing. But that should be okay. So we'll come back to, yeah, reload. We'll start a call. Get back our list. So now we should only have the single video device that we add that to the page. Unable to switch source. Oh, okay. I wonder why we're unable to switch source. Maybe because the source was itself. I wonder if can we get the current source? Let's go vid stream. Okay, so yeah, and then we want to go and the current source it's not equal to the current camera. So if the current source of the vid stream is not the same as the one that's on the current camera, which means that we've switched sources, then we'll end up back here. Yeah, that makes sense. Login. Start. Okay. Excellent. So that didn't error. we've changed that. And let's just have a look. So we got that one element there. Then let's have a look at. I'm going to turn back on the camera. And then if we go to OBS virtual camera. Oh, no, hang on a sec. That's not right because it's not swap the source at all. And interesting. Now we're like one source delayed. And we're still adding, so we're still rendering multiple ones out, which, yeah, so the multiple rendering does make sense because we've got no bailout clause on the video stream here. Yeah, okay. So we got to fix that. We got to have something more intelligent around when we actually do the rendering. Oh, this is the kind of stuff that this is confusing because you've got so many things that are happening sort of asynchronously to each other. That, yeah, I don't. Maybe the way that we're doing, the current camera setup is not going to work properly because kind of like as soon as you change camera, like that operation is when you also want to update um the video source because kind of like you're hitting here. Yeah, it doesn't know to re-render that because the source has changed, but there's nothing that's told this to update. Uh, hmm. Because that's ideally that's an asynchronous operation because it's going to take a moment to switch, and that's why it will have attempted to render because it's detected that change, but it's rendered based off of what the current vid stream is. I wonder if there's actually any advantage to switching sources versus destroying and recreating the video stream. Let's have a look at the kind of. I would kind of need to get to the source of this, which we don't have access to. So that's a little bit more tricky to deal with, but we kind of want to trigger off some sort of an event when this completes, when the source has switched to say, hey, time to re-render. I wonder if instead of trying to do the render as a separate hook, we actually do it in line here. I think that might be better. Hey, Abhishek. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. We're stuck trying to work out how to deal with so many different things happening asynchronously. uh, that's the interesting challenge that we've got here. Hmm. I am feeling suitably confused. I think it's going to have to be done sort of off. Yeah, I think it's going to have to be done basically off a completion in here, but we're going to need to be able to access the previous renderer and dispose of it. I don't know how to effectively get access to that. Like, how do we maintain that renderer? Like, you would put it into state with a hook, but does it make sense for it to be in a hook? Because we just kind of want to persist it. Yeah, I guess it can. Yeah, and then we're going to need a dispose hook as well at the end if the renderer does exist. Like when this component unmounts to just dispose of that renderer. Otherwise, yeah, memory leaks and all that sort of stuff. Okay, so we're going to const renderer and set renderer. And you use state renderer. Okay, and then we're actually going to just comment out this hook completely. This will take the renderer as well. Okay, so if we're doing, yeah, we're gonna have to get the. This this can be this can come back to being a const because I don't. Oops, const. So I don't need the renderer in there. What we're going to do though, so the just go const vid stream is so we're going to actually shadow it in here, and then that will be vid stream. No, LVS. Just call that LVS, and then we're going to do LVS to there, and then we're going to do cost. I don't like doing these variable names. It's going to get things really like confusing down the track. But we'll do a new renderer of the LVS. So using the LVS, so the local video stream that we've got there, and then we're going to set renderer with that. And then we're going to need the ref in here as well. Ref. And then we're going to run this line of code. And that will be R because it's inside of that. And then let's unpack this properly. Okay, so then we'll append to the current child of the ref that. So that's how that should work. Now, the difference is that when we switch camera, then we're going to then unfulfilled. So it's not going to receive any arguments because this is returning a promise void. Yeah, promise void. So it doesn't get any arguments. And then assuming that works, we'll go renderer dot create view. So we'll return that. Then we can target. No. Render RV. So assuming the RV exists, we will then do ref.current.append child RV target. Otherwise, we'll just do a void. 0. No. What's that do? Undefined. Okay, so what's it not happy about here? The left-hand side. So RV, that will always be true. Left-hand side. Whoops. It's that. There we go. So we can make the assumption, I guess, that the and the renderer, yeah. So we'll just get rid of this potential null, which means that will all so then we'll always get the rendered view. Yeah. So the only reason that it was returning an undefined is because renderer may have been undefined because we weren't gating the test against the inbound check. But theoretically, there's no way that we would ever get to a point where the renderer hadn't previously been set, but we had a vid stream. So like we can make that assumption, but if we put the conditional test on there, it will then kind of fool the TypeScript compiler to thinking that it does actually exist when it comes in. Yeah. So that's and theoretically, if there was some like weird race condition that happened that was undefined, like this hook may run again, and we would then drop into here. Now, the question is, do we want to dispose of the previous renderer? Let's have a look. Let's have a look what happens. Yeah, that's trippy. So we'll log back in. And we'll start a call. Get our renderer going. Okay. So we'll go with the live cam. Sweet. So it does show one camera. And then if we go to the virtual camera, no, it's still doing a second one. Okay, so well, I mean that kind of does make sense because we are appending a new child. I wonder if we need to. Let's have a look at the reference example, which is somewhere. Don't have it open still. Oops. Let's come back to here. Code on what is it? It was that, right? Yep. Group calling, web calling. That's the one we want. Let's see if they are disposing of the renderer each time. Or okay, so no, they're only appending if the well, yeah, actually, yeah, it is updating the existing video. Because they're both updated. So we don't need to well, then hang on a sec. Why did we need to do that before? Or was I just not paying enough attention? Because we shouldn't need to do it multiple times. Live cam. So display the live cam. Then we should go to the virtual camera. Oh yeah, there we go. So it has updated the camera, which is and that's what we want. And then if I go back to the live cam, it should just update that video. Yeah, excellent. Whoa, let's turn on my lights. There we go. Wow, that camera is really quite terrible, isn't it? And yeah, this autofocusing thing is really annoying. But c'est la vie. Okay, cool. Well, that's doing kind of what I wanted to do there. So So we can get rid of this hook because it doesn't matter anymore. We need the ref pass. We don't need the renderer passed in anymore because we are getting rid of that. So we'll set that. I mean, you could do it as a separate hook that just had yeah, I suppose I could like pull this out and there, not do it there, but there's no value to not doing it there. May as well do it just kind of inside of this one here. And then I can do render, name. Yeah, so that what so what else is on rendered view? Anything else? Scaling mode, mirrored. Ooh, whether or not it's a mirrored, the DOM element, and then I can change the scaling mode to crop, stretch, and fit. Interesting. So that'll be some fun stuff that we can play with. Hey, maybe we can do like some Instagram like filters. Oh, wow, look how washed out that is. Such a bad camera. Okay, let's create a commit point, and we will. Oh, wait, if staged. So all that was done there was cool. Improving the logic. Improving logic on how we switch cameras. Awesome. Now, I mean, we've got our camera. Well, I mean, we can. What we want now is to be able to select the audio device, um, and that's going to be fun because how are we going to test that? Am I? I was like, I've got so like which connected like where is the audio going to come back out? We'll find that one out shortly. Yeah, and how are we going to like visualize the audio device? So, actually, no. What we're going to do is we don't actually need. Oh no, let's put in the dispose hook for the renderer. So if use effect, and then this is going to take the renderer, and this hook is actually just doesn't even need the squiggles. So this hook itself is not going to do anything. All it's going to do is it's going to return a function that will be um, uh, if the renderer exists, we'll do renderer dot dispose. Um, yeah. So with hooks, if you haven't done much with hooks, the idea behind them is that they will execute pretty much every time your component runs, but sometimes they might be hanging on to things that you don't need them to hang on to long term. And you want to get rid of them when you navigate away from that component or that component is unmounted. Now, prior to hooks, we would do this with the different lifecycle methods using sets using the like stateful components, and there was a component will unmount and component did unmount. Those were the two primary hooks that primary lifecycle events that you would deal with on a stateful component when you navigated away from that component, like when it was getting removed from the virtual DOM. Because we don't have state in the same way with hooks, we have it using using hooks. We still may need to get rid of something when you navigate away from a component, and we do that by a hook that returns returns a function that is the dispose function. So that's what I've done here. Is like I could actually chuck this in pretty much any of the other hooks. Like if I had another hook that, like any other use effect hook, if I had a use effect hook that was actually using the renderer, I could pass it in to there and then have it dispose of it when you when it's essentially unmounted. But because I don't explicitly need the renderer within sight of a hook, there's no real value to me pushing that into another hook. So like there's no point in like I could lift this chunk of code up here to like this one here and just have it return there, but it's not going to be ideal because there's no other reason for the renderer to be available within inside of this hook. So I'll just use it like we'll just do a separate one. I kind of don't like the way that that's appearing, so I'm going to just do an explicit return rather than implicit return. So let's just wrap this in squiggles and then we'll return. Yeah, because that's definitely more readable with the way that Prettier also wants to format things. Cool. So let's add a commit for that. Disposing of the renderer on component on unmount. Now, what I'm not quite sure here is like page refresh. I don't think will trigger the unmount event, which I don't think matters either, um, because the browser is realistically the one that's taking. It's got the handle on the camera, so it shouldn't be that big a problem. Now, the other thing that I do actually kind of want to do. Oh, yeah, let's get rid of that because we don't need that there, and we'll just put a separate commit. Removing unused import as obviously just an accidental import. Okay, now I kind of want to actually shift let's start creating a couple of custom hooks here. I'm going to create a new file and we'll do hooks slash use token.ts. So we're going to import use state and use effect from React. And then we're going to const use token. Ooh, I was sure that I'd muted all my notifications. That's going to be up on stream. Let's turn that one off. Okay, so use token is going to grab this, and then it is going to grab this hook as this effect, and then we will return token. Cool. So with that, oh, come on. You can import that if you want. Oh, no, that's right. Token response is there. Forgot that I did it in line, and that will be export the type, and then we'll export default use token. Cool. So now I can delete some of the stuff from here. We'll delete that, delete this effect, and deleted too much. No, instead we will just do const token equals use token. There we go. There we go. So that's our first custom hook. And then I actually kind of want to push this entire thing out like that. I'm going to push all of this out into a custom hook with all of these effects and so on and so forth. Yeah, let's have a look. Interesting. Yep. Okay, cool. We'll do that. We'll add a new one, which will be use let's see. Well, the first hook will be responsible for the connection with communication services. And then we'll have a separate hook that is responsible for just doing the the video stream. So we can get like the device list and do all that sort of setup in one hook, and then we'll have a separate hook that is displaying the camera feed. Maybe use calling details. Naming things is hard. That's why this is called the Super Duper Enigma. Yeah, it's called Super Duper Enigma because things are hard to name. Use state, use effects from React. And we are going to grab those. Const use calling details, which is going to take a token. And that will go there. This will be this, which will come into here. And we are going to import a whole heap of things that import all of the types. And then that will be a token. What is token? It is going to be a string or undefined. It will be a string. There is a string or undefined, and then this will return the camera list, and I need to set this out as well, mic list, and then the mic list. So that's exposed there, and export default, use calling details. And then we will const camera list and mic list. Oh, you know what? Let's not return them like that. We're going to return them like as an object because that is nicer. Use calling details and that will take the token. Theoretically, I could just pass that straight through. I don't actually need to put it into a separate thing here, but we'll do it anyway. Cool. And then last but not least, we're going to pull this stuff out, and that will be the actual camera itself, like the video feed. And we'll call that use camera feed. And this will use state, use effect, and we'll use ref from this, from React, and const use camera feed is going to take yeah, we've got to work out what it's going to take. It's going to take the camera list and the vid stream. No, the vid stream it's going to have internally. And the current camera is going to be internal. Yeah, I don't think it's going to take anything. I'll grab these three hooks here. And then we'll take this here. And then it is going to, we'll call that vid ref. We'll get all of our missing import statements. There we go. And then we'll return the vid ref set current camera. Yeah, that's what's going to be needed there. And then we'll export defaults like use camera feed. And then we will import these from here. Const vid ref set current camera, use camera feed. There we go. And then, whoops, just bash the mic around. And then we were going to vid ref there. Okay, We do not need any of these. Remove all unused declarations. Look at that. And now our component is a lot smaller and simpler and easier to work with, because we've just basically just hidden all the code elsewhere. And let's just make sure it still works. It's always a good safe bet. Start the call. Connect. Okay, we've got our camera. We have our virtual camera. Excellent. Things are still working. I wonder if that one is listed as mirrored. Let's have a look at components. Connect. Camera feed. No. Calling details. No. That is the microphones. That is the videos. This is the last one. Oh, that's disappointing. But we can have a look at it on that one. No. Where is current camera? Where is the current camera? It is maybe that one. No. Oh wait, no. Current camera is that one. Yeah. That's disappointing. I was hoping it would tell me that I was that it was a mirrored camera. I thought I saw that somewhere at some point, but maybe not. Maybe I'm imagining things. It's mirrored, not mirrored, mirrored, not mirrored, and yes, you can watch the mouse. It can circle around itself. That is just totally not confusing in the slightest. All right, let's refactor all the core stuff out to custom books. Ta-da! Done. 80% rewrite of the Connect page. I'm surprised that none of them got picked up as becoming the new Connect page on that refactor. Yeah. Okay, so we got our drop-down list, which is showing the camera. So I'm going to move that to the bottom. And then we also want to give an option to select devices, but we kind of need to maybe start styling some of this stuff. Or do we do styling in a different day? Let's build core functionality, and once we've got core functionality, then we can worry about doing pretty things like styling. I think we'll do that, yeah. But I am going to move the video ref up above the camera list. Okay, so select a camera, and then we are also going to need the mic list, and we will do this same thing, but for the mic list. And then that won't be set. I wonder if we should put the, yeah, I might put the mic stuff in here as well. So do current mic, and that will be set current mic. And then I'm assuming this is it's like an audio device info. Yep, cool. We'll do that. And then we will expose the set current mic. And then we got to work out what we actually use the current mic for. So that will be, we'll grab the set current mic and set current mic. Yes, that's done that formatting. Nice. That should say set. Select a mic. We got keys. Yep. So that's all sorted. Yes. Value. Yep. We're going to rename that. Rename to use media detail. Use all, no, user all settings. We'll call it that. And use user All settings. And then I'm going to just rename that here. Cool. So that's saved all the way down. Need to fix the navigation stacks. So I can just actually no, I need to fix it so that it doesn't like I can just have hot reloading. I miss having hot reloading, and I know why it doesn't work. It's because the proxy server that I'm using that is doing the authentication emulation for static web apps doesn't support WebSocket pass through, which is what is then used by the hot reloader. At least last time I checked, it doesn't support that. Okay, so we can do that. And now if I select the podcaster, I mean, we're not doing anything with the audio source yet, but if we come to the component, look at the call settings, we should have the microphone being set, which is the Rode Podcaster, and the video, which is the live cam. Now, what do we do with our call? Let's come back here, commit, adding mic selection. Now, let's have a look at what the sample actually does with the audio device. Because, I mean, we're going to do something with an audio device, I guess. Okay. Toggle, that's just a toggle switch they've got. Handle local mic off, which is just going to do set mic. And then local preview, is that from configure? Okay, so then it comes up here, set mic, which is going to be props.set mic, which is, this is really tricky to follow through and sort of work out how everything is done. And that's part of why I wanted to build this app myself, is that this this sample application is, it uses a mix of state and Redux. And I used to be a huge fan of Redux. I've done articles around how Redux works. I've done conference talks about using Redux and how to implement Redux. I've worked with customers on building out like very complex solutions that are Redux centric. But once you hit a certain level, I find it can be very difficult to trace how something flows through without relying heavily on a debugger, which is kind of what I would almost need here. Because then we get, so set mic is dispatching the set mic event, which I think is going to be in, no, so that's an action devices, which is the set mic somewhere, but I think that will then, I think it results in this side effects thing being called the set audio device list. Here we go. Set microphone. Okay. State calls, call, mute. So what's call? That's the call state. Yeah, this action lives up here. I'm feeling like the only way that we can see it really in action is to actually implement it, or to try and capture something with that audio device. And I kind of got to got to pump it out somewhere. Let's jump back to MDN media devices and see what they have. There's video tracks to get user media. I wonder if they've got any like quick and dirty sample of using the audio device. Audio. Let's see. Okay. It's just playing it out through there. You know what? Like, how do we implement like a like a visualizer of volume. I wonder if I wonder how easy that is. Or do we actually just implement a call? Like should we just make it like do a call? Audio capture. Hmm. Let's see. Enumerate devices. Yeah, I don't think that's going to. No, it doesn't have any display media. Hmm. I don't think. I don't think there's anything easy I can do with audio, other than trying to pump it back out. Wait, there's an audio tag, right? Ambient audio tag. I know there's yeah, embed audio element. Yeah, I can pump out to that. Pretty sure. So you can listen to yourself. Like, cool, that works. I can hear that. Which audio? I don't know where audio device to output to. I wonder. Is my desktop audio working? I have a feeling it's not working. What have I got as headphones set? That one. Okay. Yeah, maybe maybe I've been listening to music and you've just had dead silence. We'll find out when I look at the recording later on. Oh no, that's definitely coming through on my headphones. Let's just pause the music for a sec. Yeah, okay, cool. That's coming on the headphones. Um, okay. Well then, let's see how we can stream to it using it's like an on-the-fly stream. Because all of these is just how you provide like OGs and MP3s, which I can't do because I don't have either of those files. Wonder if so let's have a look at the. So what does the audio device info give me? It gives me just the device information. Okay. Now, get speaker. Oh, so there's like, because we've got the local video device, right? Yeah, so the local video stream. Now, is there a similar thing for audio stream? Audio stream. Is it just like is local video stream like the only thing that I've got? Remote video streams, renderer. Oh, I have a feeling that it's not giving me. No, that might be disappointing. Audio. Let's have a look. So we can get the information about the microphone or speaker device. Yeah, that's fine. I can have them there. Is the microphone muted? Mute and unmute on the call. Create a call agent. Yeah, great. That's the device manager of the call agent. Composite audio device info. That must be something that we get back from like the remote call, maybe? I don't know. I have to dig through that. Okay. So we can set the... So we can get and set the microphone on the device manager. But I don't think there's a way to... No, it doesn't look like there's a way from the API to do that. Me JavaScript media device audio. I wonder if, yeah, let's have a look. Is there a way that I can access in front of your cameras? Like, it's all about how you can access the camera. But how do we do something with the microphone? Like, how do I create a feedback loop that's going to be quite unpleasant to deal with because it's like just a feedback loop? Yeah, so record this kind of, yeah, get user media. No, it's basically you need to get access to the stream, which I don't have any way seemingly to get access to. It's probably it's just not exposed out. Yeah. Okay. No, we're just going to try and implement some of the call, like the base infrastructure, so I can set up a call with myself and see what happens from there. Okay, so we got the current mic, yeah. I think I'm going to need to expose current camera and current mic as well. Current camera and then current mic. Yeah, because I do sort of need to update the device manager because the device manager is what facilitates the call. Okay, so how do we initialize a call? We should have a look at the docs. Azure Communication Services. That's it. Okay, so we've done a few things there. We're going to need to put a button to start the call. And we'll probably need a button to end the call as well. Yeah. Whoops. Didn't think about that. So I don't have another user to call yet. Kind of want to start the call and then have a way for... Let's have a look at the client library. That might be easier. Okay. So the call agent, we need to provide a user that we're going to call. Okay. I said, hang on a sec. That's one-to-one calls. Placing an outgoing. Placing a one-to-N call, which is ultimately what we want to do. No. Placing a call with a video camera. I still need the other use join a group call. Like, how do I just join a group call? That's what I want to do. I want to join a group call. Do I just like create a group call? Like, do we to start a new group call? Or okay, so you just create one. Well, you initialize a join using a GUID. Okay, well, we're going to need to add the GUID package and npm install -d. It's UID, I think. npm packages UID. No, UID. Ah, it's package, not packages. It gets me every time because NuGet uses packages and then npm is package, and that trips me up pretty much every single time. So we want that. We're going to import v4 from there. So we'll do UID, save it. Oh, no. Nope. Yes, there we go. -d, save that as a dev dependency. No, not as a dev dependency, just as a dependency. Boom! All the things. Oh, I wonder if that ship TypeScript definitions, or do I have to install those separately? I'm probably going to need to install those separately. npm i-d at types/u dev id. Brain just stops working for a second halfway through typing. Ah, I forgot to fix that from last week, making the height of that little the thing that's sitting down in this like little corner here. Drop that down because you miss a little bit of the code. There we go. Okay. So UUID is installed. We'll put back here. Now is it going to be like I'm using the call agent? I think the call agent is what we join on. Yep, that's what I join with. Okay. Now we're going to want to provide out the call agent, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Because agent. Call agent. And I'm going to need to provide out the device manager. Device manager. Do I need the call client? What does the call client do? It creates the call agent and then gets the device manager. So I don't actually need it for anything. We will need the device manager. Device manager. Yeah. Oh, I'm just thinking here. I need to turn this into context. For the moment, this is all just happening locally, kind of within this component. And we're going to lose those as we navigate to the next component, unless we make it like appear it as a child under here, which is not really what we want to do. We kind of want to do navigation. Yeah, so I'm going to need to have like a call context that provides some of the things like the call agent and the device manager at the very least. We're going to need on there. Possibly, the camera and the mic list are going to need to be on there because that way you can change those devices while the call is active. Yeah. But so I'm gonna we're gonna need to turn this one into context. One thing at a time. No. Yeah. We're gonna have to do that now, I realize. So we're going to import context, use context, and then React. That needs to be first, doesn't it? React, comma that. Okay, so that book won't be coming out there. We will be doing a big refactor here. Const calling context was react.create context. I'm not sure. Const calling context. No, not const. Will be type calling context, which will have on it. We'll have the mic list. Will be a audio device info. It will be a camera list. these are all like nullable things as well, which will be a video device info array. We are going to need to be able to get a call agent, which will again be unnullable. Call agent. Did I just do? I'm doing this in the wrong. I'm doing this in the wrong. Darn file. Here. Okay. So that will be there. We'll import React. That will be call context. So that will be the calling context. It will be call agent, and there will be a device manager. Again, that will be null, I think. Device manager. Fix that up, and then we are going to be providing in an empty object to start as the default here. And then we're going to const calling context provider. So we'll create the provider. So we'll actually implement the component itself, which is going to do what this hook is doing. So we're going to grab all of these. So it's going to need the token. Or no, it won't pass the token in. This will just const token is use token, because that's not needed elsewhere. Okay, that's not going to be returned. We are going to return instead. Hey, Amy, nice for you to join in. I haven't seen you. I saw you were streaming yesterday, but I was on leave, so I didn't pop by to say hi. And hey, someone joining us on the YouTube channel. Hey, Mr. AppDev, welcome. Thanks. I'm enjoying building. I find it very meta though, building videos about building videos. But if you find it useful, that is good to hear. And yeah, let me know, what problems you want me to try and tackle next with it, because I'm just going to chip away at all the random things that I think needs to be built. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I saw Amy. You were working on was it? It was some style CSS website. You're doing some of your Hacktoberfest stuff for. Is that correct? Hang on. Yeah, it's the context. Calling context dot provider. Why is that not? Hang on a sec. Calling context. Right. Calling context type. I don't like doing that. Calling context. We'll call that calling props, because otherwise it's getting confused, because we've got calling context defined twice. So calling context. Weird. Why is that not? Cannot find calling context, but it is like literally there. So why? Cannot find namespace calling context. It's not a namespace. It is a type. Let's define that. Let's go. Calling context dot provider. Yeah. Is it No, I'm not inside that effect, am I? No. Calling context provider. Does it make sense as to maybe the TypeScript calling details? Okay. TypeScript is not happy about something at the moment. Yes, that HTML. Are you doing SCSS there, Mitch? Like, are you allowed to write like plain old CSS these days? I don't know. Like, I forget what we're allowed to actually do. We're going to export that. But why is it not finding that? Const la equals do this, and then calling why can't I find calling context? Why is it not finding that within inside of it? Like, this is in here, the context exists. Why are you unhappy with me doing that? I always find it such a pain to set up SCSS. Like and maybe this is because I got burnt so many times when that was like SCSS like for so long was a Ruby binary, and like just getting Ruby running on Windows was always unpleasant. So I can fully appreciate not getting it set up. I was using less for the majority of the time when I was really doing front end. It was predominantly less, because and less was more anyway. Well, like it shows how much I use preprocessors. Back in the day, Ruby, but then didn't they port it to like a C or C++ module or something? And then that was no better on Windows when you were installing it through Node, because you had to deal with what's it, the Node GPY, yeah, and that was like I still have nightmares dealing with that. Okay, call it X. Let's see, can I return X? Yeah, X is there. X dot X. X. Okay, so now what's this? Am I like, what am I doing? How have I stopped up create context here? I'm gonna go to this React, create context. Like, how have I stuffed that one up? Yeah, so we do const theme context, and then we do theme context dot provider. It's great. Where's my done? Yeah, create context on. Oh wait. Oh no, you know what? I think it doesn't like that I've got that. I'm gonna hope that that's it. Yeah. Okay. X dot no. Okay. What, like, why unterminated regex literal? Oh, I know why, because this is a TypeScript file. It's not a TypeScript with React file. Wait, which one's this? This is calling details. Rename TSX. There we go. And now it's just going to give me a different error message. We're calling context. The peanut gallery here didn't pick up on that one for me. That's somewhat disappointing. And then this is going to need to have children, and then that will be children. Oh, and I always forget how we type that. Ah, this is where I'm just gonna go Google. Well, no, go back to like previously done code. What do we want? We want the React foldable. Have a look at this code base. Well, I should turn off the comments on the YouTube version of this because I can see that there's some unhelpful stuff coming through on there. I think I can do that easily without logging into Restream. Oh well. Well, actually, no. I probably have to go to the YouTube channel, and you don't need to be like seeing that on stream. I'm gonna go clean up some stuff afterwards. Okay, foldable context. Here we go. Damn it. I didn't. Yeah, I know YouTube comments are managed by YouTube itself. Here we go. Children is just React Node. That's it. And that will be React dot React Node. Wait, did I know? Yeah. There we go. Then we got to go props dot children. Yeah. Oh, you got spammers as well yesterday, did you, Amy? Was it on the Twitch stream or was it through afterwards? Oh, Mitch wasn't even like around. Like, what's the point of having a moderator around if they're not there to help you? I still, I should actually. I'm gonna check it after the stream, but I had that. Actually, no, I'm gonna do it now. Because a number of weeks ago, I was doing a stream, and I ended up with just let's hope we don't blow out everyone's eardrums as Twitch kicks off. There, let's just mute that tab. I had I don't like you would call it, I guess, like a follower bomb happen on Twitch, which I mean I didn't actually know was a thing, but yeah, like over the course of the stream, I had 6,000 followers. And you know, you're like, okay, yeah, that's totally not legit if you've got that many people just like joining out of the blue, and I was like, yeah, something's gone wrong here. And yeah, I just had to look through it, and they were like, it was all spammers, but none like all they did was follow. They didn't actually do anything on the stream, which so I didn't really care, and it's very tedious to go through and like block. Still have about 5,500. I'm going to assume that they're fake follower accounts, because yeah. That's what's listing there. Although, yeah, they're starting to filter down the list. But yeah, there's just like all these spam accounts, and I'm like, I can't even understand what they like. What were they trying to achieve? They didn't come in to spam at me or anything like that. So yeah, oh well, whatever. Let's keep plugging away then here at our app. So we are going to set the call agent. We're going to set the device manager. We are going to set the camera list, and we are going to set the mic list. And then that effect is going in here. We are going to delete this whole function. And we are not going to have a default export here. Instead, we are just we're not going to export the context, I don't think. No, we'll export the context provider. So back to here, we're going to delete that, but we are going to use context. Use, we'll do export, use calling context. We use context on the calling context. Okay, that's better. So now we'll lift this up. This will sit higher, like above a couple of our components. That yeah, when they navigate around, I might have to put I might put a higher order component in to wrap them, because I wonder if I can put them inside of the switch, because that context is not going to be useful on these two pages, like the route page. I kind of only want it here, but I don't know if I can put context around this. We'll find out. This will be calling context provider. And in the calling context provider, we will define the protected route. Then we need to come back to the page here. That will be use calling context from there. And that will be the use calling context, which won't take any arguments, which means we don't need the token list there, which means we don't need to import that there. And maybe it's just going to keep working. We'll find out. No, things went boom. Because I have renamed a file, have I? Yes. And then we're going to call that use calling context. And then we will change that to that. Oh, yep, save. We'll see if that will reload. Use calling context. Yeah, so it doesn't. I wonder. Yeah. Call agent is defined but never used. React is defined, never used. Let's just come and maybe delete some of these. Calling settings. We'll delete the. Remove all unused usings. So that's like it should have picked everything up. Start call. Oh, yep, there we go. Cool. We got our provider. We got our list. And if we have a look at the context, we go there. We come down here. We can see there's calling context, which has come from our context provider. Awesome. So we can actually nest routes inside of context and have them picked up. I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to, but we can. Excellent. That makes my life a lot nicer, because then we will be able to create another route that when you click the buttons to go across, it will still use the same calling context and things like that. So let's commit git status. So what have we started the UUID, but we didn't actually implement anything with it. And so let's just go .ts star. Cool. And moving a bunch of the calling stuff to context. There we go. Excellent. That's that done. Now, when we put some buttons on the connect page, and under here, we are going to create another div. Div. Actually, that's just because Amy's here. I'm going to use so many divs. No, that can be a section. And then camera is in a section, and then we'll have I should do this. I'll do this as a side. And I wonder how much that will break the actual layout. Oh, let's see. I don't. Yeah, is it going to actually break anything? No, because the sides don't actually do anything until you style them to do something. Do they? Yeah. We'll do a grid at some point, or a flexbox, so that the called information sits side by side. That's better. And then we will have a section which is going to be a button, which will be call, and yep, that'll do. And this is going to be. Hey, welcome! Thanks for the follow. The Biskrikier? No, I'm not using Twilio for this, Amy. I'm building a competitor to Phil's Twilio chat app. This is using Azure Communication Services. So it's basically the guts of Teams that's now in preview as just like a service that you can integrate with. So yes, I'm trying to see what it's like to actually build something that works like Teams from the ground up. So that's kind of where we're going with this, and we'll sort of see what happens. Yeah. There'll be emojis. We just haven't got to that yet. I'm quite literally I haven't even got the facility to start a call. That's the thing that we need to do now. So we are going to have a new thing on context, which will allow us to start a call. So we're going to actually have another function up here, which will be, no, I'm not going to expose the device manager. I'm going to hide that inside of here. And I'm also going to hide the call agent. So we're going to use them, but inside of this component. I watched Phil's stream, maybe. I know he wasn't up and running that quickly. I saw how many weeks it took to be able to do call between him, himself and himself. But we are literally 3 hours and 51 minutes into when I first started this. So the fact that I'm displaying cameras, and if I stop talking to people on the chat, then I might have actually made it start the call. But it's a lot more fun talking to you folk. And eventually you're going to be able to talk to me at the same time. And this has built-in chat as well. Does the Twilio one do chat, like text chat, or is it only audio and video? We are going to create a function off here, which will take the current camera, which is a video device info, current mic, which is the audio device info, and then that is going to return a promise of void, and then this is going to be start call. The background video is blurring. Do you mean this one here, or oh sorry, Phil's has whiteboards and video blur. Yeah, and see, I can do cooler things than just rely on background blur, because I can plug this in with Azure's Cognitive Services and do image detection, and it can we'll be able to do the face detection with inside of it, and get it to try and reposition cameras. Yeah, and we'll be able to do object detection, so you could see that I actually have the water here, or that I've got. Oh, you can't probably see it, but there's a teddy bear in the window up there, and detect all the cool Lego that I've got on the shelf. Yeah, so we'll do that sort of stuff, powered all by all powered by cognitive services, because that's where the fun stuff I think is going to come in, is when like actually integrating it with the rest of what you can do in Azure. Yeah, whether it's cognitive services or like the chat stuff, plugging that into like the chatbot functionality. Yeah, that's the cool stuff. Okay, so start call. I don't like create context. It annoys me to create context. Like you have to provide it with these default things, and it's like actually the default things are all going to be based off of the context that I'm creating later. Start call, which will just basically be underscore underscore. Throw not implemented. I think I can do it that way. Yeah. No. Do I have to do it as squiggles? Yes, I think I gotta do it as squiggles. And then that will be expected. Yeah. You error. Don't tell me you're gonna make me type that. Convert to anonymous function. No, I don't want that. It is a video device info, and that is an audio device info. I have at least 3 walls. I actually have more walls in this room. So yeah, you've got wall, you got the wall behind me. There's the wall with the very bright light on it. And look, it's got lovely like animal decals on it. And then if we swing back this way, there's the wall with the cupboard in it. And then we have 2 more walls. I have at least 5 walls in this room. There is a roof up there somewhere with lovely like a rosette in the middle of it. And I'm pretty sure there's a floor. And it is totally not made of lava. Yeah, let's see Phil do 5 walls in a room. He can only do 4. And none of them are padded either. All the walls are actual walls, not additive operator. Audio device info, yeah. Wait, what isn't this just like isn't this just like F sharp? I can just do like underscores and that will ignore things? No, it is not. Start call, and that's current camera, current mic. This will do device manager dot set set. I don't need to set the camera? Interesting. Because it's the local video stream. Yeah. So we set the microphone. Current mic. So I wonder if the video stream is going to need to be on here as well. Okay. Yeah, where if device manager, we're going to do that. I don't need to do that. And now set microphone, is that going to return? No, that's just a normal void. And then we would do call agent, if that, and call agent dot join group ID, and then we would do, so import the for as good UID from UID. That, and we'll do UID cool. And then is that... It's going to return me a call. Does it actually have anything that's asynchronous? Well, maybe that doesn't need to return a promise then. Just return a void. Well, it's coming up to 5 o'clock. I'm going to have to pick up my kids from daycare shortly, and it's also it's end of day, except for Amy, because she's 3 hours and now about 30 years because of daylight savings behind the real parts of Australia. Seeing if she's still paying attention on stream. But no, we're going to wrap it up there. And next week, I'm going to try and shift this back to 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Time rather than 3 p.m. just because it buffs up against the end of the day, and that can be a bit annoying. But we'll see. Keep an eye out on my Twitter stream. I'll post when I'm going to be going live and whatnot. But yeah, next week we will actually try and set up a call. DST does equate to the real part of Australia because yes, Queensland is now 1 hour and 30 years behind Sydney. Silly Queenslanders. I'm not going to get a chance to stream on Friday this week. I completely forgot that I have NDC Sydney next week, and I should do the finalization for the content that I'm delivering there. We'll continue on with this next week. Next Wednesday, we'll keep trying to build out our video conferencing app. Maybe down the track, I should ping Phil and see if we could join up together and see if we could have him, his calling app, talking to my calling app or something like that. I don't know if that's even technically possible. Theoretically, it should be with WebRTC, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, thanks for hanging out today. We're going to probably chill for a little bit and complain a bit more about daylight savings time. But I am Aaron. It's been fun hanging out with you all today. And we'll see you next week for more video conferencing stuff. Let's see. Queensland doesn't like daylight savings time because it upsets the cows and it makes their curtains fade. I don't want to have to wake up earlier. I've got small children. I get up early enough. Daylight savings just means that I don't have to wake up any earlier than this. Anyway, I'm going to end the broadcast on the stream, but I'll hang out on chat and we'll heckle each other for a bit longer.